think we can start now. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So because this IHA is not contractually required for us to submit to the client, but there's still needed to be done. So we decided to include it in our hazard log. So I suggest for all subsystem to submit it in this in the hazard log template. So in this, I think you guys have received this, right? This Excel IHA sample.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll take this sample to explain one by one to you guys. The first one would be the hazard category. So this obviously is about IHA. So we write IHA here. And to clarify one more time, this IHA is the interfaces within your subsystem. So which we did not cover in the system level SHA. So for example, in OCS yourself, you have few subsystems that are interfaces to each other. So please include in your IHA and send it to us IPMG for review. And then the second column, it's about the hazard ID that you assign to your hazard. And the third column is about operating mode. We have emergency, normal mode, degraded mode, or maintenance mode. For subsystem, put your own subsystem. For hazard, cause of hazard, triggering event, and potential accident is similar to what we did previously in other hazard analysis. And the initial risk. And then for this one is the safety requirement code, which you assign a code for your mitigations. So preventive method of potential accident is the mitigations. And then we have our resolution, which we have our design closure and also the validation closure. Evidence for validation and evidence for design. And then we have our final risk and the status of the hazard. And for this typical IHA, I would like to ask subsystem to include in the remark column what are the subsystems, I mean subsystem that involve in this hazard, this interface hazard. For example, for COM, maybe it's a PA and the PID, interfaces or something else. For example, train doors and teams. So yeah, so Rohit, let me explain it in Chinese for this round. Yeah? 好，我先用中文跟大家再解释一次哈。因为 IHA 不需要正式发函给那个 client 业主那边，所以可是我们还是要把完整的那个危害分析做出来。所以我们决定把 IHA 放在我们的 data 里面，就直接放在我们 hazard log 里面。所以为了更方便大家的话，我想说大家就统一用一个格式。那之后我们放去 hazard log 的时候就不会这么麻烦，我们可以大家都直接添加进去就好了。所以这个现在秀给大家的是我们的 hazard log 的那个格式呢。像刚刚所说的，我们第一格我们是填它是 IHA 或者它是 PHA 或者是 SHA 这样。第二格就是我们给它的那个危害编号，然后第三格就是它的操作模式，第四格是你的子系统名字，然后接下来就是一般的危害分析要有的原因、危险，然后还有触发事件、潜在事故。然后有我们初步风险评估， 然后这 part 就是我们的安全编号，就是你的 mitigation 的那个编号，然后有 mitigation，然后还有我们的 design 的那个 evidence， 你的证据在哪里，然后你的验证在哪里，然后再做一个最终风险评估。然后一般如果你这边是没有证据的话，目前为止没有证据的话，你其实应该是 open status 的。然后还有在备注这边呢，会想特别请子系统要备注说这里的这一条界面的分析是哪几个子系统有关的，所以就在这边可以稍微提一下这样。So we go to the next step. I will let you ask question later. Let me explain the next step first. So this next step is the where we manage all our mitigations， 就是我们所有的那个安全需求的管理都会在这个 tab。为了方便我们未来的那些管控，我们直接把所有的这些mitigation 全部用这个 sheet 来表达。So to ease our future monitoring for all our hazards, I suggest everyone to use this second tab, safety requirement. You load all your mitigations here. And for interface, we don't have to like export or import our mitigation. So for this column, we can just leave it like this, or just leave it blank. It's okay. And then you accept I think for all the mitigations can be accepted. So okay for all. And in this column, please include your design mitigations. The evidence for design mitigations, either it's a document and the section number, or it's a drawing. And for validation, can include the test report number or sections. And then for the requirement, again, we have to mention that it is an open requirement as the evidence is not all fully implied. And for hazard ID traceability will be the hazard that using this particular safety requirement. For example, for the sample, we're having EMU 001, IHA EMU 001. So in this column, please fill in this one. As for this sample, I actually already included the formula for this tab, the IHA tab. So you don't have to worry about this input as when you update these sections, it will automatic update here too. So what you need to reassure is your safety requirement code here is typed correctly to this one. Okay, and then if you type this correctly and all the information is plugged in here, by right, every information will be automatic shown here and updated here. So we can only manage this and to close all our hazards. Okay, I'm not sure should I translate it, but everyone, do you have any questions so far? 有什么问题吗？刚刚第二 part 的那个能听得懂吧？你是 David 吗？喂 ，Hello，
是我吗？我 OK
对
，OK 了，听得懂。
听得懂好，你是 com，
对，
所以基本上只要如果你跟这个的话，你会方便很多。就是之后我们会
对，你说 link 对 ，OK。
好啊，那听得懂啊 ，Philip 听得懂吗
？OK， 这边没问题。
没问题，好，可以跟着做。那你OK， Tony 呢 ？Tony 你觉得怎么样？So far 那个 IHA 可以理解哈？
不懂这个问题。
好，你的直子系统的那种界面，如果有界面就要放在这里，这样。
好。
So Rohit, do you have questions about the formula here? So
No. Actually, I already prepared I need to do in this format.
Yeah.
I think I already shared with you my IHA, but did it really require to put in this your template or?
I think it's better to do so because in future when you submit your hazard log, it will be in this format anyway.
Okay, I will do it.
Yeah. To ease yourself, you can start doing it now.
Yes.
Okay. So if we are okay with the IHA, shall we go for the OHA?
Yes, we can go. Yes, I'm okay.
So for this OHA, I did a very similar thing. It's just that for OHA, we have to submit to the client. So they have a specific template to follow. So for this part, please put your own subsystem name. And then here, I think you can just leave it. I'll fill in this page. And for the first few column, it's same. You can just put your hazard ID here, subsystems. And these mission descriptions, we have a sample here, so you can follow. And then do the hazard analysis, potential accident, initial risk. And this one I have split to two because initially we only need to provide the preventive method, but to ease our future when we compile all our hazards, I still suggest everyone to include a unique code for your mitigations. And this is the template from the client, so we have to include this process coding. But due to the way that the process coding is supposed to be the section number of your evidence, like for example your O&M manual, which section, and by right you should include your section number here. But because of the way of we presenting our mitigation, our evidence, I suggest us to use this description in all this column for now. Let's see if the client accept this. Because since we are going to include our sections in our evidence, to ease our future monitoring, I suggest to write it this way. And then the resolution again is our evidence where the documents and the section number. And then the final risk, should be final risk. Again, for this sheet, I also help you guys to include the formula. So what you need to do is just updating this second tab. Similarly, include your mitigation here. The number here, as long as the number is correct, then this sheet will be updated accordingly. For these two resolutions, for maintenance, I think you only have to submit the design phase for their O&M manual sections. And then again, the hazard ID here. And open or close for design for the safety requirement status. So this is my suggestion for everyone to submit their OHA. Do you have questions about this? Philip, 有问题吗？Rohit first. Sorry.
Nothing else. No.
Oh, you understand? You understand my format, and then what you need to do is just update here, and then everything will concurrently happen.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. Great. Philip 有问题吗？
没有，这边没有。所以，我确认一下，所以在 process coding 那里，我们都写一样的，就写 detail
对对
solution 而已。
大家都放这个。那我们，因为我们毕竟要把它纳入这边，那我们就不要 double work。
哦 ，OK，那在那个 preventive method potential，那边我们也要拆成2个嘛，就是 code 我们也是自己编，这样。
对 ，code 是自己编，所以这是我 suggest 要拆的啦，因为那你之后填这个就后面就会自动填写。
那个 code 有规则吗？假设我们的话是 power 跟 DQ， 所以是 OSR power dash 001这样。
其实我们本来是没有设定那个规则，可是我个人是对啊，我是觉得这样子写会大家比较同意。
好 ，OK。
对 ，as long as you have the code， actually it's okay。
OK， 好，没问题，谢谢。
那 Tony， 你有看不懂的地方？没有问题，可以懂。
大概了解。
哦，
大概了解。
你的会这样做吗？
我的表格就是类似这样的。
对，因为这个它其实本来没有要求要这个号码，可是我个人想要你们加入，是因为我们反正之后要去追踪这件事情。对，有这个号码的话会好追踪很多。
OK， 好。
好，那
David。
对啊 ，David。
会提供这些从 database 捞出来的一些 content 吗？比如说有哪些mission 或是一些 hazard 的那个的 item 吗？
你是说就是
内容？内容
就是你们那边可能没有，对不对？我刚刚有跟 Lemon 稍微聊一下，然后其实关于这个操作危害分析啊，其实 SCOM 也不会太多。对，我之前有做过，我可以稍微给你们看看大概是怎么做这样，那你们可以跟着做，好不好
？OK， 好，谢谢。
I think that's all from my side. I have no other but if you have questions about these tables, this formula, please do not hesitate to ask me, because for me, I think it's quite important for me that if you guys follow this format, because in future we have to monitor all of these items together. So it helps a lot in our integrations. Okay. By the way, our deadline of this is 30th of September for IHA, and then 3rd of October for OHA first draft. Okay? So, is it clear?
Clear.
No other comment, yeah? So, okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you, everyone. 谢谢大家。
谢谢。
谢谢。